So basically, you just stay with the standard TV format. Let me do the crazy stuff.
Yeah, be like behind the scenes.
Okay.
Look.
Exactly, yeah.
Rolling.
Okay, rolling.
To roll, so to get the audio and everything. Okay, then passes. 3, 2.
Intro exclusive intro special. We're here in LA for the Grammy Weekend, where we've been going around town covering the city of LA. The city of LA is known for many things: music capital, entertainment center of the world. And this weekend is special because it's actually the Grammy Awards weekend. And not only are we going to be covering the Grammys, we'll be going around town catching popular spots in the area of LA, from the music center, from the center where the Oscars are given every year, down to the little parties we cover, the private parties and the after parties. But more importantly, right now, I'm sitting with Mr. Love Me Jeje, big up.
Hey, what's up?
And Mr. Patrick from Platinum Records, promoter and manager, I believe.
That's right, correct, yeah.
And here we are, but we've heard so much about the guy. We've heard the song Love Me Jeje, Mr. Moneyman. We got loads of calls from our interviewers who actually loved the video.
Right.
And we're going to the ladies later. We'll talk about the man himself. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for coming on the show. He was actually in London, but he didn't come. We'll find him for that later.
Okay, all right.
Great weather,
Beautiful.
great ambience.
Yes.
We have to meet the man, Seyi Sodimu.
Right.
From the very beginning.
I was living in Maryland, which is in the West Coast of the United States.
Okay.
I was in college, and I had a partner called Carl Bassi. He was a DJ at Howard University.
Okay.
And he was DJing in clubs, and I'll go with him. We'll dance and everything. So I started to take a class, a writing class, and every time we turn the paper in, my instructor would say, you write very good. Why don't you try for the school magazine? So I started writing poems and songs for the school magazine. And I just started writing. After a while, Carl came to me and said, look, why all these songs? What are you going to do with them? I said, well, I don't know. So why don't you sing them? I said, I can't sing, man. What are you talking about? So I had to take voice lessons.
Professional.
Yes, I took actually in college.
Okay.
There was an arts class that they had, and I had to take voice lessons for about 2 semesters to actually learn how to sing. I learned how to sing, and I just went into the studio to try and record one of them. And when I recorded, a lot of people jumped on it, like, "Wow, that's when I recorded "Love Me Jeje." But I didn't release it for about 2 years because I tried to market it in New York. I went to a lot of record companies, major labels.
Mainstream to
Yes,
market them.
yes.
A song which would tag indigenous in a way.
Exactly.
Right.
But the problem that they told me, it was hard to market me because I look, quote unquote, American, but I sound African.
Okay.
So it was hard to market. So I just decided to take the damn thing to Nigeria and London to release it. And I'm happy I did, because from there,
When was this?
this was in 1997, 98. After I took it to Nigeria, I think Ray Power was just taking off then.
Okay.
And I met with them, and I told them what I was trying to do. I worked with a lot of good people. And the thing took off before I left Nigeria.
It was already out.
It was not just out.
It was like
It was like you
coming
out.
back.
Exactly. And you can never be prepared for that.
Exactly.
It just took me by storm. So I had to come back to America and quick. I was like, look, I got to shoot a video. It's like, wow, I have to shoot a video. So I shot a video for that song. And it took up even more.
Bigger.
And even if I go to London and suddenly, any wedding I go to now, I mean, that's the mainstream song. And it's a blessing. I mean, I couldn't have written that script if I wanted to. It was just something I think God kind of
And that set you on the path to
Exactly,
music.
exactly. Because now what happens is I get a lot of recognition from that song, and now even in America, when I go to like New York or other places, they know me from that song. Which I think is a mediocre song from the whole album. The only kind of thing, it's
Well,
funny.
you don't know that, right?
Yeah.
You don't know that.
It's
yeah.
funny.
Love me jeje, love me tender.
Love me jeje, love me tender.
Love me jeje, love me tender.
You're my sugar, my honey, my tender lover.
You're my sugar, my honey, my tender lover.
It's funny because when you have a song that's so big, it kind of belittles the other song on the track. You know,
Obviously, from that statement, you think there are other songs
I know.
that you feel more than
I
Me
know
Jeje.
that. I know the Young Jeje is so simplistic, and I wrote that on purpose for a Nigerian crowd because of the, you know, when you're talking to a girl now, hey, what's up?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
you know,
married,
man.
10 years.
Well, before you talk to your wife now,
Okay.
you know, you kind of say, hey, what's up? You mix it with Yoruba and
Okay.
English, pidgin English. You just try and everything, you know, whatever
so
works.
cool.
So when I was writing the song, if you listen to the lyrics, you know, I'm the baddest boy in this. It's just a lot of things that you say to a girl that makes her smile. And I thought about the Nigerian women when I wrote that song.
Okay.
You know how Nigerian women are very, very different.
Oh yeah.
You know, I don't care where they go in the world, Canada, wherever. Still, Nigerian women, it's different the way they act, the way they talk. You have to actually be able to connect when you're trying to, you know.
Costa.
Exactly. And if you can't do that, it's going to be really...
Great song. And part of the feedback you've received, has it just been mainly from the Nigerian African community, quote unquote?
No, not really. I had a lot of response from out here in California.
Okay.
In 1998, a couple of people called. We had a number set up, you know, because there's a radio station here. They had a show called Afrobeats, which played Brazilian, African mix, and all this jazz stuff.
Okay.
And a couple of people called and said, look, we need some kind of show out in LA, but I couldn't come out to LA to do it because I was basically focused on Nigeria at the time and kind of New York, because for me to come out, I was getting started and I was overwhelmed with the work I had to do. Exactly. I was not on a major label, I was on an independent, and most of the funds I have was like investors.
Okay.
We just came like, we have faith in you, just do it. So I couldn't come out to it, but I got a lot of response from mostly white people. Yeah, mostly white people, and then Black Americans.
Okay.
And it's funny how that works. I don't know why, you know, white people kind of like African music more. I don't know.
I'll tell you, actually, I'll chip in a bit there. In London,
Right.
The Royal Festival Hall is an establishment that's been there for years.
Right.
And they do promote a lot of Asian, African, and basically music that's not primarily originates from Europe.
Right.
And with the African bit is actually organized by a man called Mr. Biadikeba, who's brought in guys from Nigeria, from Senegal, and all that.
Right.
And you're going to watch these shows. Kwamwon was there.
Okay.
And 70% of the audience
So why?
were white, you know. And
it's funny you said that, because if you go to a Sonny Ade concert in Washington or anywhere else,
Similar.
you find a lot of white people coming to watch the show.
Right.
So some of them, in fact, putting on traditional outfits. So yeah, you do have a lot of that happening.
so that
here.
tells you we can actually sell our music, you know.
Crosses over.
It's
Yeah.
obvious we can. It's just we're not. I guess I don't say we are not. It's just not as easy for us to market it the way we want to.
Okay.
Because we need some kind of a major distribution deal for us to. We can't be in two places at one time.
Exactly.
Like now we're in LA for the Grammys, you know. But at the same time, if we have a network, we have to set a network ourselves. If you guys are in London, which I'm so happy, you know, because I remember when I used to go to London for Carnival, it was not the only outlet I had was going to Notting Hill Carnival,
Exactly, yeah.
and that was it. Now, if we have an outlet in London, there's a network there. If we have one in LA, if we have one in New York, DC, Canada, now I could take my CD or whatever.
Exactly.
So people, because he's working on some more artists, I can say, hey, this person is Nigerian, but you know, there's so much talent that if we can do it ourselves, because the people are out there who want to listen to it. So
Definitely.
it's a lot better now, especially when China all started in Africa. You see the music scene in Nigeria,
spread
Africa
and
is
that's spreading to other places.
Exactly.
That album is released, I think.
Yeah.
So you showed him the Love Me Jeje album.
It's called Born in Africa.
Born in Africa.
Right.
And is it been marketed in London?
It was at that time, but now I think I have to do a re-release because I'm on another distribution deal with some other people in DC. But what we're trying to do is to remaster it and do a remix, because we had a conversation with Genuine's people. Because we had
you guys were in Lagos with them.
Yeah,
Genuine.
some of the backup singers want to redo the
some of
song
the songs,
and make it a little bit more. So we're working on that. If we're definitely going to do that. When we do that, we're going to release that song and that whole album again, and probably shoot another video. It depends on the dynamics of it. Okay. But we're going to redo it again before I do another CD.
That song,
So in this case, it's probably going to be marketed more towards the whole world as opposed to Nigeria. Because you have some Americans on the record. Some of Genuine's backup singers are going to perform on that.
Right. So actually, the whole vocals.
They
feel it.
Exactly. And probably some new rappers he's working on.
If you remember, I don't know if you were at the Genuine
I was
show.
there, we were there, yeah.
Part of the when one of the backup singers came out, he actually did just a letter of Seyi's song.
Yeah.
And the response from that was
at the hotel, he was like, man, help me.
He was really feeling it. So it was really good.
Exactly. Yeah. He's out of
So it was
Chicago.
really
Yeah. He's still calling, and we're definitely going to do it.
Great. That song is more than 7 years old now. And that's the beauty of music.
Yeah,
it's
timeless.
never too old.
It's good, it's timeless.
It's timeless.
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Moneyman.
Right.
That's like was that the follow-up single?
Yeah, that was the second album.
Okay.
The follow-up single on that was a song called Ayo. I don't know if you ever. Seyi Sodimu. That was a big hit in Nigeria as well.
On video as well?
No, there was no video for that. But as far as single, it was the second single to follow Me Jeje. Now after that, I took like a year and a half off, and then I went back. I did a tribute to Fela.
Okay.
You know, a lot of people have heard it, but
that was just about a year or so after Love Me Jeje then.
Yes. Right after Fela died, about 6 months after he died,
Yeah.
I released that as a single, just some dedicated. I didn't make a dime out of it, but the whole idea is that Fela deserved some kind of, not just recognition. He's already recognized. It's just
tribute.
Exactly. You know, if Fela has a lot of songs. I keep saying that it's not just Femi or Shion. Fela has a lot of songs, you know, a lot of grandkids.
I feel
exactly.
Yeah.
So I believe, musically, he's kind of like a father. I met him in April. He died in August. You know, and it was kind of meant a lot to me when I met him. You know, because he's funny. He's like, hey, who you be? It was really.
So more importantly, because for those of us who don't live in America, obviously, we know we get beats. We live in London, and we say to ourselves, are there any Nigerian artists in America? We say that all the time. Right. Hello, sweetie. She's okay?
Yeah.
We say that all the time. And I got Paje CD.
Yes.
The funny thing is, I don't even know how I got it.
Do you like it?
Beautiful.
I know. It's awesome.
That is, I got two. I didn't like one, but I like Paje.
Yeah.
The stalker, Yeah. And I started playing, and there was a particular track. Up until I don't remember which particular track it was. There's one where the husband and the wife Palava. I think it's called Wife Palava. Matrimonial Palava.
It's beautiful.
And that's what, of course, so there's something like this in America.
Yeah.
So I know there must be loads.
That's why we need that network.
Okay. And I think the problem America has uniquely is America is so huge with different pockets of strength.
Yeah, you could be big in New York and they will not
nobody knows you.
Exactly.
How do you think, speaking as Africans, obviously, with loads of African artists here, and you're obviously doing very well now because you've actually signed a deal for soundtrack for a movie.
A major movie, yes.
Yeah, we'll come to that in a minute.
Right.
But how do you think America on its own can network all these pockets together to bring out the best for Nigerian and African artists?
I think we have to do it on our own level because it's the fact that it's so huge and it's almost like a continent. I mean, it's the size of West Africa. I think we have to do it ourselves. We have people here we're working with in Northern California, people in Florida, Texas, Chicago. It has to be ourselves first of all, because we're so many. Because for instance, the Nigerian movie scene, the Sierra Leoneans watch it more than we do.
Oh yeah,
we have a couple of Sierra Leonean friends. We go to their house like, you come from Nigeria, bring me some Nigerian movies.
Or the English speaking,
the Ghanaian, Sierra Leone, Cameroon, they pick up on it. If we have a network where Paje, myself, or even new people coming out of Nigeria, not just here. If we have network like that, it's not only going to take up because big labels they watch.
Oh yeah,
you understand what I'm saying? They watch and they listen. So I don't like for people to say, we're waiting on the government or the big company. I don't do that. If you believe in yourself, you have to do it yourself. So whatever you're doing in London, BenTV, I'm sure you didn't get any kind of government money.
Absolutely.
You decided to do it. You love the stuff enough to do it on your own. That's the only way I think we can make it.
And part of what we intro as a unit is trying to do is actually to create that triangle.
Right.
Because really, I think once we have a solid triangle, then we can move into other parts. And that triangle really basically have different ends: London, America, Lagos,
South Africa.
South Africa.
Right.
That makes it a square now.
Yeah. But
the reason I called it a triangle is like Niger first.
It's true.
Because once we can lock that down, see, because South Africa, in a funny way, after when Mandela came in, obviously it opened up.
It's opened up really.
And a lot of Nigerians
out there
make things happen in South Africa,
Yeah.
really. Not just in music or entertainment, in industry as well.
Business.
So that market, one of the biggest DJs in South Africa is Nigerian, Waxy.
I didn't know
And
that.
he came out of Lagos. A lot of these things we didn't know until we set up the outfit intro through television, and gradually it's spreading.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly.
So if we start with that triangle, that's the whole idea, and that's why we're here covering the Grammys. Really, this show we're doing is not just about the Grammys, because the Grammys is just one event that probably has just one African up for nomination, which is Yusundo for the world music. It begs the question, really, is it relevant to us? But the fact is, I do know, and Femi was nominated last year, Femi Kuti, but I do know if our people see that we actually can cover these things, it shows they can do it too.
Right.
I have absolutely no doubt about that.